Hi, welcome to the MCB Community Update. I'm your host, Eric Joseph, Executive Director of the Audible Local Ledger, part of the Massachusetts Audio Information Network, or MAIN, which provides reading services across the state of Massachusetts to people who are blind or print disabled. The MCB Community Update will interview Commissioner John Oliveira quarterly, and it will speak with other members of the MCB to find out more about the services and support that MCB offers the blind community. We welcome feedback and any suggested questions that you might want asked. Now, here is this month's MCB Community Update.
Greetings. Our guest this month on MCB Community Update is the Commissioner of MCB, the Mass Commission for the Blind, John Oliveira. And I'm looking forward to speaking with the Commissioner today because MCB always has a lot going on and recently had an event that seems to get more and more coverage each year, White Cane Day. So let's hear from the Commissioner on what's going on. How are you, Commissioner Oliveira, and what's happening at MCB these days?
Hello again, and great to be with the listeners here again. And we are having a lot of different things going on here at the agency and in the U.S. in general. But we'll touch some of the more important things here, and then we'll touch on a more general nature as we get towards the end of the show here. So the White Cane Day, as you mentioned, was a great event. We had 300 people there. I think that's probably the largest number of individuals attended. It is great to see that we have such response from the community, and we basically just send the word out through our social media channels, and the word gets out, and people register. So great to hear that there's so much interest and participation, and we need all that. And every one of our consumers should have the opportunity to attend if they can. And if they cannot attend, then there was a great service provided by the Talking Information Center. And I believe all of the radio reading services will be sharing it and airing it. So if you haven't had a chance to listen, you might hear it on the radio reading service in your area. So it's a great event. We had great participation from, again, as a community, as I mentioned, but we had great number of volunteers from the Lions Club, many of the legislative aides at the State House, and even some state reps volunteered to come and help for a bit of time. And we had obviously Senator Robin Kennedy and Jay Livingstone. Representative Jay Livingstone came to speak, and they are very important to understand MCB's budget, and they sit on the Joint Committee of Children, Families, and Persons with Disabilities, and so great that they were able to participate. Secretary Kiame Mahanya was there, and I just got distracted by something speaking here. So it was a great event, very moved very quickly, and people appeared to be engaged, and we had quite a number of activities. Obviously, the major award that we gave out was to our Meg Robertson Mobility Awards that we present, and as many of you know Meg's name, and maybe many of you worked with Meg and met her. She worked here at MCB for many years as a orientation and mobility instructor, and then was the director of mobility for quite a while. And so, and she continues to do work in the field privately. So as she enjoys her retirement and still keeps her hand and stays involved and keeps up with her reading. So it was a great day. And Carroll Center for the Blind provided with some wonderful refreshments that people were able to enjoy. And I couldn't believe it. I came out, there was still some leftovers there. So at the end of the event when I was leaving, but people must have had enough and just still had some leftovers. So that's great. And it's a great day. The weather was great, and we had a wonderful time up there at the State House. And it's always good to go do an event at the State House because, again, many of the legislators who are involved in different aspects of the budget and working with constituent issues have a chance to either drop by and say hello, and others are able to participate. And it's good to have a presence of many legally blind individuals coming to the State House and have an opportunity to attend that type of event. So the second event that we had here was the Reverse Job Fair. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Reverse Job Fair is where our employment services team works with individuals who are ready to look for work and are currently looking for work. And they have a chance to come on and present a 1 to 2 minute elevator pitch about themselves. And this year we had right approximately 40 employers listening. We do it in 2 sessions. So we broke up. One half of the presenters was 1 week. We don't want to make it too long because we know that employers are busy, and so they can take an hour out. And we had the first group present within that hour, and then a week later we had the second group present within that hour. And this way it doesn't. We used to do it in one lump sum, but we found that conflicts of work, some of the employers would have to leave, so we decided that this would be better. Take a 1 hour chunk of your time. That way they could allocate it as they would for meeting purposes. And so it's worked out very well. The employers are provided with the resumes up front for all of the candidates that are presenting. And then they can listen to the pitch and then contact them directly if they want to offer them an informational interview, or also offer them an interview for a specific position that might be open. And in some cases, some of these employers also join our internship program so that they can host interns during our summer internship program. So again, it's something we started right around towards the end of the pandemic times, when people were getting back to work. And this became a great idea because it solves the issue of transportation. You can be presenting from Springfield or Worcester or down to southeastern Massachusetts. And as long as you're willing to commute to wherever the employers may be. Now, a good number of the employers are the Boston area, but there are some that have operations in other parts of the state. So it may work out that it can work out for you as if the match is correct. So that's always a good event, and we'll be watching over the next several months. I've heard that some individuals have already been granted some informational interviews. Some are interviewing for a couple of the jobs that were of interest to them, or they were that the employers wanted to bring them in for interviews. So we'll see how that pans out over the next 2, 3, 4 months. That's when the results come in of who got hired and who didn't. Also, we last week we had what we call our college prep program. It's sort of we invite all the high school seniors, and I think we had 38 or something, right around that number, that attended. Their parents also can come with them. It's all done virtual, again, taking out that whole transportation issue and travel time and all. And we we have some currently attending college students come and present to the up and coming, the rising college students. And then we have some information we give them about the agency's programs for folks who are attending college, and we have some other information that are given to them, and parents have an opportunity to ask questions, and we have our staff on there, the deputy commissioner was there, and some of our vocational counselors, our supervisors, a few of our directors, to answer any of the questions that they may have. And so this is something we've been doing for years. We found it very helpful, that it really, a lot of the kids are used to having the teachers of the visually impaired at school get their books for them. Well, when you get to college, you're going to order your own books. And most of the schools, you're handling that. Sometimes the Office for Students with Disabilities assists in some cases, but a lot of cases they don't. So we make them aware that is a task that they are going to have to get involved with, or even if they're not, they're going to be involved with the Office of Disabled Services office, and go with them through the process. So, and many other questions come up, a lot of financial aid questions, a lot of do's and don'ts about living away from home, and how do they get different services when they're away from home. So all these things are handled by our team, and again, we're looking forward to these students going away. And this is their senior year, so they have time to plan. They talk about applying for scholarships and filling out that necessary federal financial aid form. And so it really has been found to be very helpful to the individuals that attend.
I bet.
And now let's talk a bit more about something that you see in the news every day now, and all they do is count the day. This is day 20. This is day 22. This is day 24. I think today is day 27.
I know where you're going.
It's the federal shutdown, Eric. Well, the federal shutdown continues on, and I believe it will probably continue probably into November without any question there. I've attended many meetings, different organizations that are trying to work with different folks, contacts in Washington, to get as much information as we can. And a lot of it is rumors, a lot of it is not verified, a lot of it can change. So it's a very fluid situation, as they would say, and we will see what happens. So currently, it is not, the federal shutdown is not impacting MCB services. Fortunately, we have some remaining funds and other funds that we are able to utilize, that we're able to carry forward with our programming and all of our fiscal responsibilities. So it's not impacting us yet. So if it goes on for 2 or 3 months, it will, definitely. But we're hoping that this gets settled in November, and the federal funds will definitely be needed as we go into next year to keep things moving forward smoothly. And again, I could tell you things, but by the time you listen to this show, it would have changed. So let's just say that there's a lot of uncertainty in Washington at this point. There's a lot of people who are not working together. They're not collaborating. They're sort of holding their own and not really being great team players. But I'll leave that all up to you to decide and work out. Just monitor your local news, and I'm sure you'll get the story as it comes out. And it's a tough situation. It's difficult. It's going to get more difficult as time goes on for a lot of different programs. For those folks who receive some food assistance, that's coming up in the near future. that funding may be restricted or not available. But again, these things can change, so I don't want to get into specifics, but because by the time you hear this, you'll say, "Oh, he was wrong," or that's not the way it is now," because it is changing on a daily basis. So stay in touch with your local news, and I think you'll get the latest that the news has to offer, and it'll hopefully work out soon, and our representatives and senators in Washington can work together to bring this through, get us a new budget so that we can continue to do what we do here at the agency, and all the other programs around the country can continue to do what they do, and serve the consumers that we're charged with serving.
But for the moment, the news is everything is consistent and going forward. Services aren't being impacted yet, but eventually, of course, they will be if it continues for much longer. But right now, MCB is doing what it always does, which is taking care of their community.
That's
Is that
correct.
right?
Everything is running smoothly, and you are right. So feel free to continue to call us. Programs are still being delivered. Our vendors are being paid. Services are still being offered at our vendors. So providers, so if you're in need of any of those services, reach out to your counselor here at the agency, reach out to your social worker, and continue to work with them, because everything is at this point running smoothly.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for your time today, Commissioner Oliveira. I always appreciate the update and speaking with you. And to our listeners, if you'd like to hear that White Cane Day broadcast, we'll be airing it all week on Audible Local Ledger, as well as all the reading services that might be in your area. And you can find those by going to audibleledger.org. We list all the other reading services, and we will be airing it twice a day this week. So you'll definitely have many opportunities to hear White Cane Day, and it was fabulously successful. We're looking forward to that. So thanks again, Commissioner, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too.